Welcome. In this lecture, we would be solving some of the toughest questions from the previous year papers. So the very first question talks about the Davis cycle. This is a question based on assertion and reason. Now note, students sometimes get afraid of questions which are based on assertion, reason or match the list. But make sure that you on the first side don't get afraid of the questions, because if you know the concept, be it any type of question, fill in the blank, MCQ, match list, statement 1, statement 2, multiple correct, all of those things would come at a easy go if you know the concept very well. Now, Davis and Pank cycle, if you remember carefully, when we discussed the concepts of Davis and Pank, we said that Davis cycle is a time dependent model, Pank cycle is a time independent model. So keep the key things in mind and make sure you don't confuse on that, right? So Davis theory talks about the three stage, the youth, maturity and the old stage, and this is one of the characteristics of the Davis cycle of erosion, right? So the first statement, that's the assertion, talks about the same thing, that's correct. And then second statement says that the Davis concept of erosion focuses on structural control, process and time. Now here what I said in the beginning, it's a time dependent process and this is the key. So this is again a correct statement, and of course this reason correctly explains the assertion, so you have the first choice as the correct answer here. So basically it's the duration, the time and the stage which affects the cycle. The next question is on Hadley cell. Now Hadley cell is a very important topic. Now when we talk about the different cells, it's the Hadley cell, Ferrel cell and the polar cell, and there we also need to understand the thermally direct and thermally indirect, right? So Hadley cell is a thermally direct cell because it derives the energy from the differential heating of the earth's surface, right? And this is where the equator lies. You have more insolation in the region which leads to rising airs, and this ultimately leads to sinking air at around 30 degrees of the latitude. So it's a thermally direct cell. As I said, very important to understand the term, whether it is a thermally direct or a thermally indirect cell, right? And once the warm air rises, it releases it gets hot, it rises and it then tries to settle at around 30 degrees of latitude. It is where the sinking air creates a flow. So this is what is part of the choice C, and therefore this becomes the correct answer. Now the three cell model, the Hadley, Ferrel and polar, the key idea is in this, the Hadley and the polar are thermally direct and the Ferrel cell is thermally indirect. Very important, you must not miss this concept, right? And this is again what we have discussed while we have talked about the climatology classes, right? So this is the thermally indirect. So key concept, very important. If you know, you will be able to answer the questions. The next question, now this is a question which is obvious question on economic models, and this is a basic question which talks about who gave which theory. So principle of least cost given by Weber. So a very direct question. So the idea is to minimize the transport, minimize the labor, minimize the agglomeration cost. Then is the pure rent theory given by Thunen. Now this talks about the agricultural land use, and the rent is determined by the transport cost, right? So again, this is one of the basic questions. Marketplace theory and central place theory. So marketplace theory given by Losch and central place theory given by Christaller. So again in the central place theory, we have the K value, the determination of K value becomes very important question off and on. And market theory, which talks about again the web and the K values being processed at a higher level, becomes important. The major idea under the Losch theory is profit maximization and focusing on the integration of the Christaller theory. So the next question talks about the approaches. Now this is from the history of geographical thought, which examines the power structure, inequalities, environmental injustice in the spatial ideas, right? So positivism is nothing but it talks about scientific objectivity, empirical observations and so on. Humanism is where human experiences, perceptions are the key. Radical geography somewhere around 1970s, which talks about the major phenomena, focuses on capitalism, exploitation, social inequality, as has been given in the question. So this radical geography is the correct match for this question. And quantitative revolution, on the other hand, talks about the scientific ideas where you can actually put in theories, mathematics to help solve the problems, and it would not actually be the sole focus for social inequality, right? So the key here is to understand what kind of thing is being asked in the question. If it is regarding applying techniques, coming on to answer through a mathematical module, then quantitative revolution would have been a correct answer. But since it specifically talks about social inequalities, then radical geography is a wider match, because even with social inequalities you can apply quantitative methods, but quantitative methods has not been the focus idea of this question. So the core value of the question you have to understand, based on which you would be attempting the question. The next question talks about the environmental movements and the correct order. Now, Silent Spring model in South has been Rachel Carson's very important initiative, and this was in 1962, focusing on the idea of silent areas that have been created because of the environmental degradation in the region. Now, the Chipko Andolan is the forest conservation movement which started somewhere in 1970s, around 1973. Rio Earth Summit, which is around 1992, and this is a very important summit. Now it is called as Rio Summit because it was held in Rio de Janeiro, and this Earth Summit was a place where the people came in together for protection and the cause of environmental concerns on the earth. The next is Deep Ecology, around in 1973. Now this was a movement which was a theoretical concept for initiation of the ideas, okay, and this was somewhere later to the Chipko movement that happened, right? However, both of them were close in 1970s, but this has been, Deep Ecology has been later in sequence. So it's Silent Spring, Chipko movement, Deep Ecology, and then the Earth Summit as the correct sequence that you would see for this idea. But knowing the timeline for environmental events has been one of the very important topics which has been usually asked, right? The next question says, the technique which is appropriate to determine the strength and direction of a linear system between two variables like urbanization or per capita income, right? Now here what we need to understand, we have two items, right? So correlation, regression. But why we are talking about regression here? Because we are trying to model a relationship between a dependent variable, which is the per capita income, versus the urbanization rate, which is an independent variable, and this would determine the strength and the direction of the relationship, right? So this would be a way through which you can even extrapolate what would be the scenario in 2050s, 2070s again, and what has been the phenomena so far, right? So whenever we are talking about two quantitative variables, usually the techniques that would apply would be quantitative, under quantitative variable would be correlation, regression, t-test, ANOVA, chi-square. But again, chi-square is where there is two categorical variables, it could be preference for something and the gender as one of the categories, right? So chi-square is usually not taken when you have quantitative variables and linear relationships that are being mentioned. So again, this cannot be the answer. Standard deviation talks about the dispersion or the spread. So again, this is not something what is mentioned. ANOVA here cannot be the answer, because under ANOVA we are talking about three or more groups, and it is a kind of continuous dependent variable that has been taken into account. So it is not a linear relationship that we are focusing under ANOVA. So again, ANOVA won't be the right option here. So since it's two variables and linear relationship between two variables, regression analysis would be the best option. Now cover the lectures on the statistics that we have done very carefully, and you will be able to answer each and every integrate question on statistics, that's for sure. The next question is demographic dividend, a very commonly heard term these days, even by the when we talk about youth in India and higher amount of like higher population of youth in India, demographic dividend is one such term. Now, the question here tilts you only on the basis of the key definition of demographic dividend. So, if you read the reason here, it says that when the country's population has higher proportion of dependents to the working, that's opposite of what is demographic dividend. So, demographic dividend is actually the working population by the dependent population, and therefore the reason becomes incorrect. Let's talk about the assertion. So India is experiencing a huge demographic dividend due to large youth population. That's correct, and if that's correct, that has to be in the numerator to make it a higher positive value, as simple as that. So reason automatically gets incorrect. So know the basic definitions, the terms very carefully. Don't just by reading the sentence get confused, and even if you know correctly, don't because of the confusion, don't mark it incorrectly. So if you have strong foundations, strong ideas, there is no reason you won't be able to solve these correctly. Now this is a very basic question from Geography of India. Usually a topic on Geography of India, what I say is based on rote learning, nothing much to explain. You have to read, memorize and answer, that's it. So Greater Himalayas, Lesser Himalayas and Shivaliks is the correct sequence. Now in the Greater Himalayas you have the mountain ranges of Karakoram, and then you have the Himachal, which is the middle Himalayas, and finally the Shivaliks, where you have the dunes, so Dehradun, Patni Dun, and so on, right? So those are the correct sequence. Now based on the height, based on the importance, you have the mentions of the valleys, the passes within these regions and the peaks, right? So those are some of the important things that you have to memorize, and something based on rote memory, which is usually asked in this section. So thanks for joining in. If you have any doubts or questions, feel free to connect back, and of course you can practice the past year papers. We have a compilation of more than 5,000 PYQs which would help you for your last minute preparations on doorstep. Wish you all the best. Thanks for joining in. Have a great day.